Hey everybody, it's just me, Shamica Myers, with that Self Warrior Talk and Magic. How are you today? Let's go. So, last week we talked about commitment and mindful thinking strategies surrounding commitment and making a plan for each day, each week, even if you're not on the weight loss journey or weight management factors. But the things that weigh us are sometimes, you know, physically attached to how we feel, how we oh embrace things, embrace the change in the nature on who you are, the things on how we surround ourselves around traumas, around life, upbringing, past experience, environmental situations. So we learned about our key core pillars, and every time I come on here, I'm going to relist them until they are embedded into your brain. Okay. So we want to make it simple when we make wellness and adjustments. Our self warrior talk today is about laws of forgiveness, y'all, and how we can bring wellness and adjustments to our everyday cycle balance or what you seek out to build and bridge the gaps in your own foundation at home. Remember, it's a personal experience. One shoe doesn't fit all. So we can't approach our wellness in a one shoe fit all scenario. You have to approach according to your age, your sleep, your medication, your body type, diseases, environmental changes. All of those things play a part, but the refrainment doesn't change. We need rest, movement, a nutritional balance, stress management, and relationships connecting to us at how we respond, all of those things. Those five is what keeps us moving and thriving, surviving. Or, you know, let's dig into it with the laws of forgiveness. So before we dig into what is forgiveness, the laws, and all of that, let's talk about being less afraid, understanding how fear, afraid, our emotions tied to our gut health. Y'all know I got to bring it back to the digestion system. That's my pet peeve. At Maidens Gardens Alliance, me as a coach with Maidens Gardens Alliance, we focus on a holistic wellness approach to your digestion system, to your functionability of up and up running, the system on its whole entirety, on how you nurture yourself, how your body's moving, how much rest your digestion system needs, even the stress your body endures. Us as women, we endure so much stress throughout the time and day, throughout the year, throughout the week, throughout our lifetime. Men, you endure the same amount of pain. Your tolerance for pain sometimes falls on a different scale than women, but don't exit out your pain that you have endured throughout your life. It builds up fear. Sometimes it makes us afraid to what's to come or the unknown. So being left less afraid, let's talk about how we can break that down. First thing first is understanding negative bias, understanding the feeling that draws you from your past, that brings you to your present, and it affects it right now. It makes us feel tense. We have foul thoughts surrounding it, or we have been taught and to look at a certain thing a certain way. Sometimes it can help, it can create, or all the time, it can create a negative bias situation for you. And it can like hinder us from being optimistic in a situation or where we need to reframe and rethink. So we want to make sure that we understand where we are at with our fear or being afraid. And we want to check out our own personal self-reflection surrounding negative bias towards ourselves. What are you speaking to yourself that feels negative? Your body feeling. What are you hearing? What did you hear from past experience or what did they tell you? that you was too short, you wasn't pretty enough, you wasn't light skinned enough, your hair isn't long enough, or it isn't straight, you're not strong, like certain little things that we overlook that sometimes can hurt someone, and they grow up believing that that is them or that is such, even if they grew us taller than they were before. It's something that they held on to that has them to create, or have you to create, a fear surrounding those words. Let's talk about it. So how do we talk about and how do we get ourselves out of it? Understanding that it is a social structure that happens and it comes from society. So over time, the social structure has been built to where this is how we just talk. This is how we communicate with each other. But it's not communication all the way through, because the other person is not receiving it the same way that the person delivered it. So we want to make sure that our social structure or construction can be reframed. And it must be reframed by staying optimistic and checking off the top above that we listed. Unbox yourself. Start unboxing the layers that was built surrounding you being afraid, surrounding negativity, surrounding the social structure of society. Unbox yourself, release that tension, release that pain. Ask yourself, why not me? Period. Many things have been done before. Why not you at this point and stage of forgiveness? If someone else did and got over it, why can't we? Let's talk about it. Let's go deep. So, laws of forgiveness is acknowledging the hurt. The reason why sometimes we feel as though why not us is because we are covering up different layers and stages of hurt. Once we first bring ourselves to realistically address what needs to be brought to the surface that makes us afraid, that brings negativity to our mindset, that we was constructed into this social society like thing. Once you unbox that, you're able to dive deeper into why you are looking to receive forgiveness from your inner self. Because a lot of times we think forgiveness comes from someone else, but somebody can say sorry, but if you're still held onto that ill will or that feeling, that sorry is just a word where you're looking for action, and that action comes from you. You have to forgive yourself for allowing those different actions to happen or come across, or even being in that space. So, how can we take the steps for forgiveness? First, you want to acknowledge the hurt. Then you want to consider how that hurt actually made you feel. You got to be honest with yourself. You can't say, oh, I was well, I got over it. It just happened for a little bit. No, you want to take 11 minutes out to actually answer these questions deeply. So that way, that 11 minutes count as your meditation. That 11 minutes count as your focus point on mentally getting prepared for the day, for the week. Also, understanding that certain things can prohibit us from moving in our full potential every day. So now and moving forward, we want to open up our week with a heart of gratefulness, but a mind and a soul for optimistic forgiveness. Some people come and they say different things towards us out of their own personal feelings and expressions. And we just got caught up in a crossfire. But how they made you feel is very important to you. So acknowledge that, accept that you felt some type of way. Sometimes you can say, nope, I didn't feel no type of way at all. It didn't bother me, but it really did bother you. So accept that it did bother you. Hold that thing accountable and let it come. Let it be. Okay, what it is. That's how we're going to determine like whether or not you can forgive, period. So once we take the up three steps, acknowledgement, consider, and then accept, that will let you know if you are determined in a right mindset, a right place and stage to actually implement steps of forgiveness. So forgiveness, after you determine that, yes, I do want to forgive. Yes, I want to release this out of my soul. Next steps is repairment. You want to repair different emotions that you held tight and add in another emotion within that space, because some emotions bring in hurt, worry, concern. Instead, we want to bring in joy. Instead, we want to bring in clarity. You know what I mean? And then we want to bring in focus. So when we repair ourselves from forgiveness, we want to include and add powerful, meaningful things into that space, into that surface that we're digging up, that root, to put it to the side. You got this. Learn how to adapt. Some things we can hold on to for so long that we live and we operate with that hurt. Learning to live without that hurt is the most important key to forgiveness. We can live with, I don't like her, I don't like that. They did me wrong, I don't go there. That smell remind me of that. We can live with the no, but when it's time to live again and live in those surrounded areas, those familiar smells coming across, that thought, that pain, that song, those moments are when you really are truly tested on if you forgave. Now, we're not talking about forgetting, we're talking about forgiveness, forgiving. That's a soul type thing that happens within our body. So, when I say happens within our body, your muscles get confined, your digestion system slows down, our thinking process is confusing and all over the place. We get dehydrated, our liver and our kidneys slows down. Anger is stored within your liver. Okay, sadness is stored within your throat. We get choked up, we're losing our appetite, or we're gaining an appetite for something else that we really don't care for. We're just eating it to suppress our mood. These things are true, and they surround around a line in laws of forgiveness and love. Like, so we want to learn how to quote with what we need to do for ourselves to move forward. And then your final result is to forgive, letting go, releasing that grip on holding on tight to something or someone that has harmed you, that has taught you something, that put you into a constructional statistic box, or that had you to build up a level of negative bias against yourself. Forgive for the things that you don't know, because you're going to find out. Like, let's go with laws of attraction. So we cover up our anger, and we all on sometime honestly look for the steps to take to forgive, and then sometimes we just throw it completely out of the wind, out of the way. But I want to make sure that we don't continue to do that, because avoiding situation, avoiding how you really feel, weakens our intuition, weakens that voice that you hold, that power, your superpower. As a woman, we second guess our intuition because we created an unforgiving space within ourselves. So we're not trusting our gut. We're not trusting ourselves, our mind, our thought, our actions. Um, so we want to make sure that we're not moving in an untrustful space for ourselves. So we have to forgive. So the true factors on why this is so successful to take is because you learn from it and you apply it. Like, forgiveness is successful steps to take because you learn from the past experiences on what you think about, whether it's really deep, because forgiveness can go from minor to major. And that's what I'm talking about. So I'm filling in the whole minor to major picture here. And when we go through certain things, to change our perspective and to show gratitude is by actually looking into what you went to and the lesson that you were supposed to get out of it. Um, Not saying that you deserve that lesson, not saying that it was fair for it to be taught to you, but it still is a lesson within that story for a blessing. And we say, how can we get a blessing out of things that are traumatic? Sometimes our blessing is for the next person. It's sad to say, but we are living vessels and tools that to help each other. Before all of this different diversity going on, it was unity. And then it was unity within packs of people on what they believed in, on this part of how they had to fight, they were utilized together. With that being said, sometimes we utilize and create unity with our pain. And when we do that, we create a comfort zone to where we are at. Now, that could be a good thing, but then that could be a bad thing because we're not applying what we need to have learned to overcome the next battles of life for years to come. We're still stuck in that last battle and how we either lost or won. But when we forgive ourselves for each action that we played ourselves in, and we allow other people to play in our lives, whether we said something or not, we are taking back that control that somebody took advantage of within our space that we thought they were safe. Okay? Like, so it is a blessing because it's always a wake up call. Never to be too comfortable thinking that we're safe. Always think twice. Choose wisely. Remember that you hold the strength to conquer through. Like these little self pet talks can help push us through intense moments and intensive spaces that sometimes we are in that traumatizes us, and that we have to now longer take steps to forgive, be free, be happy again. So unbox yourself. You got this. Break it down. Take your steps, your journey, complete it and see it all the way through. You want to make sure that you become a person that fills yourself, fills your body with beneficial thoughts, beneficial foods, with valuable rest. It all plays, it all plays a part into getting out of your head. Like love, hope, self-awareness is so key. Like, and I appreciate and I value therapists and coaches like me. So because we help go in with the guidelines, we help treatment, physical actions on what you could take to implement a change, to invert, and to add in consistency. Coaching is normally for awareness, functional approaches, making sure that people understand that you don't need treatment for every little thing, but you have freedom to follow the guidelines that fits you, as well as learning helpful tricks and tips and techniques so that way you can pass them on for generations to come. So I really value being a coach. I value being a trainer. I also value being a friend, a sister, a daughter. I value so much of my life because I am a very important factor to people where I didn't know that I was until like I removed myself not from people, but I was still surrounded, but mentally I wasn't. And to see me still be embraced around people, to see people interacting with me without even knowing that mentally I wasn't here. I was there, but I wasn't here. And a lot of people to think that I was myself when I really wasn't myself, it confused me a lot. And it's like, I got to grab a hold or I'm going to forever be misunderstood. So I'm glad I grabbed a hold. I want you to grab a hold of yourself today and learn to open up for love and forgiveness. I'm actually a love and forgiveness coach. I use all of my training and techniques to help women embrace their journey of a fresh start surrounding weight management and with my course Self Warrior program 3 to 6 months for weight loss. My ladies that's embracing the lifestyle transformation, 50 to 100 pounds seems sometimes a lot, like, and it is, but it's one step, it's protocols, it's techniques that you use every day. It's learning your pace and understand no race, no race. The only race you have is for you to succeed. And once you see that, it takes general steps to working with your body instead of against your body, it comes just like that. So this is Self Warrior Talk. Thank you all for tapping in with me. I'm just me, Coach Shamica, with Maid's Gardens Alliance, talking wellness and lifestyle balance with that Self Warrior Talk. Catch y'all out next time.